Yes, this is the Henry Rollins. Yes, that okay. So, all right, just a little bit of explanation as to the video that you're seeing. Okay, thank you, Rue. And so this is Henry Rollins in Black Flag in 1983, I think, or 84, being interviewed by some kid in Detroit, and the whole band is there. Kira's in the band. Bill Stevenson of the Descendants is in the band. There's Greg Ginn, and there's Henry. And this is a very famous interview. And what I did was I took the Harmony in My Head radio segments with Henry talking about 12 Hits from Hell, and I was like, well, I might as well have something playing over it. And so I went to the internet and I found this interview. And a quick, just a super quick thing about this interview before we continue further. For those of you who are familiar with this interview, or who are not familiar with this interview, go seek it out on YouTube. It is hilarious. It's basically Henry is just super pissed off and super like, I don't know, he's got like, the 1,000-yard stare. He's just in the middle of the tour. It's like life is hell, being on the road with Black Flag. And he is just giving this kid so much SHIT. He is just being such a DICK, just really, truly, just really being a SHITTY person to this guy. And it's a real bummer, man, like just to see Henry. I'm sure Henry Rollins cringes about his behavior. But again, being on tour for a long period of time will make you do crazy things. I can truly attest to that or believe that and have seen some of it firsthand. So I can tell you, I think that, it makes sense, especially with if you're a guy like Henry Rollins, you're getting punched in the face every night on stage. Henry Rollins used to carry an axe handle there with no axe head, just the axe handle around, because an axe handle, for those of you who don't know, axe handles are perfectly balanced. You can throw an axe handle or hit someone with an axe handle with one hand. It doesn't go off kilter. It's meant to be hit with one hand. So Henry Rollins would keep an axe handle ready at bay anytime someone was messing with him, so he could just bop someone right in the head with it. So here's this young whippersnapper asking Henry Rollins questions, and he just acts like just such a prick to this kid. So I decided to put that over the interview bits. Now, last thing I'll say, and then I really am going to shut up because I want to take all my vitamins, which I didn't get to do today. And I'll actually be able to take a breather for a second because you're going to hear something really cool. I hope I don't get in trouble doing this on YouTube. I don't think I will. I don't think Henry will mind. I don't think he's like that when it comes to this sort of stuff. But you cannot find this broadcast. It is incredibly hard to find the broadcast now because I think you can find an archive of all of his broadcasts, but this is not included anymore because I think someone in the Misfits camp must have given him hell for having it because he plays the 12 hit songs and the Misfits don't want the 12 hit songs out. So I've obviously cut out the 12 hit songs. They're not on here. But it's basically all the banter and of Henry talking about it and about why they are so great. And the very, very, very last thing I'm going to say, the very, very last thing, there is a piece of Misfits trivia within this recording that you may not be aware of. Henry just volunteers this. Man, what I would kill to interview Henry Rollins about the Misfits and just hear him wax poetically. You could release a documentary just about Henry Rollins talking about the Misfits themselves. We're going to do a little bit more of that after I play this. So I'm going to play this for you now. Okay. Really going to shut up now.
This is the show you've been waiting for. This is the big one. It's August 22nd. My name is Henry Rollins. I am here in the Indy 103 Rock Mosque with Engineer X, and this is the much talked about Misfits show that I told you we were going to do. I really hope you are right now opened up to the harmonymyhead.com page and looking at these liner notes. We are going to listen to Misfits songs, the same song 2 times. You're going to hear the original mix of a song, and then you're going to hear the later mix of the same song. The later mix you're going to hear is from an album that almost was released, hit the promo, almost went to the store stage, and at the last minute was yanked by the band. The album is going to be called 12 Hits from Hell. If you have the box set of the Misfits, if you have the collection CDs of the Misfits, you have all of these songs, but in their original mixed form. I much prefer the 12 Hits from Hell mixes. The 12 Hits from Hell sessions, basically they took these 12 songs, 13 really, but we'll get to that later. And they mix them all at one time. And so you have much more of an equal overall sound, where the original mixes were done in different sessions. And I must say, as much as we all like the Misfits, you must admit the Misfits made some very strange choices with production, as in snare and hi-hat way in front of the band, guitars way in the back, Glenn Danzig going through so many kind of reverby effects, you can't hear the beauty of the guy's amazing pipes and those great lyrics. And so I much prefer the 12 Hits from Hell mixes. If you go down your liner notes, you will see the history of this, and you'll see my breakdown of every single song, the original mix and the 12 hits mix. Overall, you're going to hear the original mixes, snare and hi-hat out front, Glenn going through a lot of process, the guitars not realizing their full bouquet, if you will.
So that's one of the reasons why, I mean, what he's not explaining here, I'm sorry to interrupt, but the one thing that he's not saying, or that should be noted additionally, is look what happens when Glenn Danzig is not in the studio and someone else gets to do what needs to be done with the stuff that he's recorded. And that's what that's why Tom Begowitz is a genius. And that's why he's so great. And that's why 12 Hits is so great, because you don't have Glenn, you don't have Jerry, you don't have anybody mucking anything up. It's just, it's an outside, unbiased fan perspective doing this stuff. And you, as you can hear, Henry totally, just like, as a music fan and a musician, knows how to talk about this stuff. And he tells you why 12 Hits sounds better, even if it does sound better to your ears.
This kind of an indistinguishable growl in the background, your 12 Hits from Hell mix. Glenn, way more up front in the mix, high, dry, present, dead center. The guitars are full. The bass is full. The snare has a better sound, pulled way back more into the mix. Another thing that makes the 12 Hits from Hell sessions unique is they were recorded with the Misfits lineup with Bobby Steele on guitar. Partway through the sessions, Bobby Steele, for one reason or another, either left or was kicked out of the band. I don't have the full deal on that. You go to the website, you make up your own mind. In any case, Doyle, as you know, came in and actually put guitars on the session as well. So you have both guitar players on these sessions, a lineup that never truly existed, a lineup that never played live. And that's another thing that makes the 12 Hits from Hell sessions so interesting. Another part that makes it interesting is it never went to stores. There's 2,000 promo copies, one of which I own. They're very rare. It goes for $100 to $300 on eBay or gem.com. I would rather the band released it, and I also rather you not pay a penny for it. I'd rather you just listen to it tonight, download it, and put it in your iPod and listen to one of the greatest albums that never was and should have been.
So, I mean, right then and there, he's encouraging people to download it because, I don't know if he has some sort of inside baseball, but like, oh yeah, of course he does, because he's doing this after 10 years after the fact. But, he wants people to hear this, because nobody had a chance to, hear it. And, also, again, it's another thing that's interesting about hearing Henry talking about it as opposed to Tom talking about it earlier. Hear how they have different things to say about everything. Tom never mentions why. Well, he kind of does, but Henry really goes into why, what makes it so great. He talks about Bobby Steele is what helps to make it so great.
So in order to get all of this music done, I set it up for you. You got the notes. I warned you for weeks. We are going to listen to 10 Misfits songs right now. You're going to hear the original mix first, then the 12 Hits from Hell mix. You're going to hear Halloween 2 times, Vampira 2 times, I Turned Into a Martian 2 times, Skulls twice, and London Dungeon twice. May I please put in this initial PS? The second mix of London Dungeon, the 12 Hits from Hell mix, may be one of the greatest recorded moments of the Misfits. I think it's one of their best songs, but this 12 Hits mix is going to rock your ass.
And additionally, as Tanner reminded me last week or 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago when we did that other one, something that I completely forgot, something that Tom does say in the interview that I did with him 9 years ago, there are alternate lyrics that are used in the second version of London Dungeon. So there are scratch lyrics. There are different lyrics than what end up in. And think about that. Think about the fact that London Dungeon is essentially, at least musically, is written in 1979, but it's almost a year later that they end up recording London Dungeon, at least, you know, in the studio. And freaking the lyrics are not finalized. The lyrics change again right then there in the studio, which leads me to wonder how many other Glenn Danzig lyrics have changed. You know, I mean, look at Feline Nursery and Spinal Remains as another example.
So coming up right now, breathlessly, we go into 10 Misfits songs right here, right now on Indie 103. I hope you survived that one. You just heard 10 Misfits tracks, 5 songs, 10 tracks. Remember again, original mix first, then the 12 hits from Hell mix. Please note that the original mix usually murkier vocals, and 9 times out of 10, I'm liking the 12 hits from Hell mix. I'd like to know what you think. In any case, we're going to go for 10 more. So we're going to listen to Night of the Living Dead, Ghouls Night Out, Astro Zombies, Horror Hotel, Where Eagles Dare. 2 mixes each right after the break. So please hang out, survive the ads, come back for 10 more Misfits tracks here on Harmony in My Head on Indie 103. It's Misfits night! And now we're going to finish up our analysis of the 12 hits from Hell mix. I love doing shows like
I love that you do shows like this too, Henry. One thing, okay, now coming up is a piece of Misfits trivia that I remember when I first heard the broadcast, some 8 years ago, blew my mind. I had no idea. And it makes for a great piece of trivia. I don't even want to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it. But let's just say that it is something that you most certainly, if you've never heard this before, you most certainly did not know this. It's not mentioned on, I'm just not going to say anything else. I'm sorry.
Like this. My name is Henry Rollins. This show is called Harmony in My Head. If you want to hear some serious music or music listened to seriously, Harmony in My Head is the show for you. It's myself, Henry Rollins, and an engineer I wouldn't dare do a show without, except once when he was sick. He got better, thanks to Allah. His name is Engineer X, and we're here in the Indie 103 Rock Mosque every weeknight from Tuesday, 8 to 10 p.m., doing it to it. Like ain't nobody ever done it before. And so anyway, right now we're going to listen to Violent World, Halloween 2, to finish the 12 hits from Hell mixes. You get Violent World original mix, Violent World 12 hits mix, same thing, original mix and 12 hits mix on the song Halloween 2. Now, one of the great selling points of the 12 hits from Hell album was you were going to get 13 songs, actually. The 13th song being an alternate take of London Dungeon they happened to find on the tape. The Misfits never said anything about it. They just happened to find it, and they said, well, what the hell, let's mix that too. And they did, and it's awesome. So you're going to hear 5 more Misfits tracks, and then we'll see you, we'll talk to you in a minute about it all. So listen, enjoy, and we'll be right back. We're going to save time. I'm going to talk very little. We're going to play a whole lot of Misfits music. 10 more Misfits tracks coming up right now. 2 takes each of Night of the Living Dead, Ghouls Night.
I will say, when I would the tidbits coming up, I thought it was before. It's not here yet. It is very interesting the way that Henry sequences it. It's really nice because you literally get to listen back to back. You can really hear the difference. And if you have the ability to sequence it yourself, you should do it. Go home and try it yourself, kids. Just take your 12-hit CD and take your other mixes, whichever ones you choose, line them up, and press play and see. And if you're really feeling froggy, try and do it in triplicate, because there are definitely triple versions of some of those songs. So, do it.
Zombies, Horror Hotel, and Where Eagles Dare. Right now, folks. Are you dripping blood? How cool was that? You just heard, in the space of not very long, you just heard 20 Misfits songs. Okay. No way has this station ever done that before, but I wonder anywhere in the history of FM if they've ever done 20 Misfits songs in a row. You know what? Maybe they have, but I bet they haven't done 25. So we've got more to go. We got ads to do, but we got more Misfits coming up. So endure the ads, and then please come back to me after the break. All right, folks, that concludes 25 Misfits.
Here it comes.
Basically heard the 12 hits from Hell mixes every that would be like every odd track, or I'm sorry, every even track. 2, 4,
no,
6,
they don't.
10, and then the odd tracks 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, etc. were the original mixes that you can find on the Misfits box set, also on the Misfits collection CDs. The 12 hits from Hell mix That CD is very hard to find because, like I said, there's only 2,000 of them that were sent out. There's a few CDR versions that.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. You're saying that it has the original mixes, but it doesn't have the 12 hits from Hell mixes. That's it, right? Is that what you mean? I don't understand what you mean.
Put it around. Best thing to do is go to the Harmony My Head.
Here it comes.
Right now, look at my very lavish liner notes.
Here comes the trivia.
Beg you to go to Misfits Central and look up the history there. Also, the painstaking, amazing recording sessions part of that site that has every damn thing the Misfits ever did, including sessions I was at, where they didn't mention that I was at the We Bite sessions in 1982. They don't mention that I'm singing backup vocals on the song We Bite with members of the Necros. Little trivia for you there. So right now, we're going to go back into our more normal fare, if that can be believed.
So there you have it. There you have it. In case you did not realize. So not only does Henry Rollins do the live growling vocals on We Are 138 for Evil Live, he also does backing vocals for We Bite along with members of the Necros. Which, I mean, I most certainly forgot about that, like crazy. Nobody realizes or knows. I mean, now I feel like I have to go and listen to We Bite to see if I can hear it. I guess you get We Bite. Yes, when Jerry was making a statement about the canceled CD, he said the box set has all the songs the way they're supposed to be. Right, but the way they're supposed to be without Bobby Steele, without the Bobby Steele mixes or whatever. Without his guitar mixed up or mixed in or however you want to put it, say it, scream it.